Hi, and welcome back to tutorial of Django 1.6. In the last tutorial, I had installed a virtual machine of Ubuntu, and now we are going to use that machine to build our app. Go through my previous video to figure out how you install Django machine on Ubuntu. So to start with, we need to create a project. Now, a project is can be considered as a website that you have to create, and there will be different modules inside your project. Which are called apps. Now, to start a project, the command is start project. So you have to type django-admin.py, which is a module provided by Django framework, which allows you to create projects. Now you have to give the name of the website that you have to make. Let's name it as my first project. So small mistake here. It's not organized properly, but still. So we'll go inside our project folder. We'll see that it has got a manage.py as well as a folder named same as the previous directory, as well as the name of the project that we had given. Now manage.py is a utility which will help a lot, and you will see all those steps later in the video. Let's see what files are inside my first project folder. It is an init, which indicates that this folder is a Python module. Settings.py contains different settings. For now, we have two types of you just need to know two types of settings that this file will have. First is database settings, and the second one is the installed apps settings. So we'll look into this file. So here is the list of apps which is already installed. If you want to create a module inside your website, we'll include which will be in fact created in the form of an app. We will include it here. Let's say we'll add it here. So we are going to create an app named news, which is taken from the Django project documentation itself. So this is the name of the app that we are going to create. The other thing is database details. Here we are going to use only SQLite 3, which comes with Django by default, and it does not. You do not have to create a database beforehand. The Django framework will itself create it. It is highly recommended not to use SQLite 3 for production environment. Now we had to start. We had given the name of the app that we are going to create as news. So let's start by creating an app. How do you create an app? This is the command. Now we had seen that there is a file called manage.py inside my project folder. This utility will help us in creating a startup. What manage.py does is it creates a lot of files which otherwise you'd have to create manually, but in this case it automatically creates all those files for you. Let's see, let's hit enter and see what files are being created. So now you'll see that there is a new folder called news, which is the name of the app created inside your project folder. If you go inside this folder, you'll see 5 files: admin.py, init.py, models.py, test.py, and use.py. Admin.py is the admin section of your app, and this will create an inbuilt admin interface that will allow you to create it will allow you to manage the database part automatically. You won't have to write even a single piece of code for that. Models.py will contain your models, which is in fact which contains classes which will allow us to create database tables. So, and views.py will contain the views which will in fact correspond to a particular URL. When you call a URL, it will make a call to this, it will be mapped to a certain view, which would be a function inside this views.py. This will, as each function inside it, will accept an HTTP request as an argument and return HTTP response as the return value. So first and foremost thing is, what do you want, what data will you have in news? News will have two things. One is reporter model and the article model. So we'll open models.py. Let's create two classes. This will inherit from the main class, which is defined inside the module models. The reporter will have his full name, so full name is equal to, the type of this will be character type. So models dot char field. Char field says that it is of character type, and it will be translated into var char type in the database. So it requires a mandatory argument called max_length, which in this case you can give any integer value. So this should be it. Now there's one special function which will help us in displaying the reporter objects in a proper way. This is Unicode function. Return. So now if you try to print an object of which is an instance of this class reporter, it will print the object's full name. The other class is article. Article will also inherit from models.model. Now an article will have, it should have let's say title. So the title would be of which type? Char. max underscore length should be 100, let's say. Then it will have a publish date, which will be models dot date field. Now we'll have this article will be written by a particular reporter, so we have to have a reference between this article class and the reporter class. So we'll go ahead with this and create a foreign key, which will be reporter equals models dot foreign key, which will refer to reporter class. We'll just refer. I remember that there was one more field in the official documentation. We'll refer this. Yes. Sorry, that was quite an obvious answer. It has to have a content field. Content field will have the actual content of the article. Now this is exactly not a char field. It has to be a text field, because the length of an article can vary anytime, and you cannot have a max length attribute to it. You cannot just assign a max length attribute to it. So there is another field for specifically this type. It's called text field. Text field does not have any limitation. Now we are done with creating the model section. We'll also have a similar Unicode function, so that when you try to print an object of the object of this type, of an article type, it will show the title of it. So return, this is a function inside. Yes, that's why. Let's return self dot title. I forgot to write self here, because full name is a variable of this class. We have to use self to refer to it. Now we are done with models. Now that we have created our model, we need to create database using that model. We'll cross check it with the online one. We have used title instead of this headline variable here. Rest things are in fact same. So now you have to go and create database. Now how do you do it? You have written the models here. Till now it has not created any database entry in your SQLite 3 database. So there's a command which will again use manage.py utility, as I had mentioned earlier, to create the tables inside database. So we'll execute Python manage.py. We'll go one step ahead, back. Here we have manage.py. We'll create Python manage.py syncdb. Now for the syncdb to work, you must have included this new app inside my first projects. Inside this my first projects settings.py, install apps. So you have to mention this name, which we had already done before when creating the apps, the app news. So we'll execute this. Just a minute. Yes, this is fine. It creates a lot of other tables too for us, which we'll not use. We are only concerned with the last two tables that we are going to use, and it'll ask you to create a super user, which is the main admin login username and password. So you'll create one. Let's see, I'll let the name be ritual itself, or you can change this. You can provide any other prj or anything else here. Now email address can be anything. Okay, and the password for logging into the admin module of this project, you can choose anything. I have chosen 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yes, now it has created all the tables for you already into the database. You do not have to do anything else. Now so now that you have created your model, you will want to access it. To access it, you will have to map a particular URL to this project. So we'll go to my first project / urls.py. Now if you see this file, it has a line named URL r, which this part this will map your this if there is admin word in the URL preceded by the website name on this side / website name / admin / if you access this URL, it will redirect you to admin.site.urls.py, which will be inside Django framework itself. So for us, we want to have another URL which will point to our app. So we'll rename it. We'll create a new line entry which has news as the first argument. It's a regular expression, and this will be interpreted as site name. Let's say that the site name was my first project. Then if you access www.myfirstproject.com/news, it will redirect you to a view that you have to write, a certain view that you have to write inside your app. So let's say I'll point it to news / views dot views let's say my first view. Is that okay? Yes, it should be okay. Now we have created a URL which will point to our projects view. So we'll have to go and create our view, which was, let's see, where my first view. Okay, so we'll create a function inside news app views.py, which will be we'll have to import models in my first view. We'll refer this here. So this is actually using a template which we are not going to use in this tutorial. So we have created this view here. Let's say you have to just print hello world when a user accesses the URL site/news. So we'll import django.http import http response. So this will print a message this is the message that will print if you try to access news URL. So now what we are going to do is we have to run a server which will in fact host this website temporarily. So for that we have to start a server, which is done by I'll run that server from another tab so that I don't disturb all these things here. So this is the command that will start a local server on your machine. Now see, I'm using Django version 1.6 and the settings being used are my first project .settings. The URL, the website that currently is hosted is at this URL, that is localhost and port 8000. So we are going to open a browser and try to access this URL. So this should be .0.0.1:8000. Now if you try to access this, this does not match any of the URLs mentioned in the urls.py. If you go and have a look at urls.py of my project, my first project .urls, it does not have anything that will match this particular URL. But if you type admin here, it will match that and it will have this one. So if you remember, I had given the username as prj and password as 123456. So this got logged in, but in this case we have not registered our model with the admin section. So we will go ahead and register our app with the admin section. So this is inside news.py admin. just have a peek at how you exactly register your app with the admin section. This should be inside the first tutorial. No, I think this is the second tutorial. Yes, admin.site.register poll. We have to import that model first, and then you have to register it to admin section. So in our context, it is from models import article and admin.site.register. What is that? article. So if you now go and refresh this page, you'll see this article here, and then you have the liberty to create articles from here. So we'll create a dummy data here. This is article 1, publish date selected as today. Content would be, this is the content of article 1, and the reporter is not mentioned here. We have to create a reporter here. It should happen here. Let me find out if something went wrong. In that case, I'll register my reporter model also. To admin section. Let's go back a bit. Since we did not include import a reporter model here, this one reporters also, we'll create a reporter here. That is my name, Prajwal 1 would be the person. Yes, now we'll go and create an article here. I don't know, this place should have come earlier also, but still. So Prajwal 1 is the reporter. Where it save is. See, this article 1 came just because of that Unicode function that we had written earlier. Now we will go ahead and create another article here. You can click on this plus sign to add the reporter, add a new reporter. Let's say this is Prajwal 2. We'll create another reporter and save. So see, this name is my article here. Now you can also go ahead and access another URL for the news section, news app directly. Remember, this was written inside urls.py of my first project. My. See, this will match with localhost :8000/news/. So if we access this URL, we'll have this message that we had printed inside views of news app. See, this is the exact message that is getting displayed there. Now in the next video I'll show you how to use a template to display all the articles that we have written here into this page. I'll upload it very soon. Thank you for watching.